because when I get to office, we are going to not charge taxes on tips, people making tips.
Many months later.
Eliminate taxes on tips for service and hospitality workers.
Kamala Harris embarrasses herself again after she made a viral mistake at her rally. This is the Devori Darkins Show. So as you guys may know, her campaign is hiding her. They don't want her to take questions, but they also cannot prevent her from doing rallies. And every now and then she slips up at a rally. And in this video today, we're going to look at this mistake that she made, which is absolutely huge. We're going to look at this ad that Trump put out that I really believe sums up the entire story. And then we're going to expose something that her campaign has been lying about when it comes to her rallies. So without further ado, let's play the clip.
The media is treating Kamala like she's vulnerable and needs protection, because she does. She's on a tight leash. They made her read the same speech twice in a row. Watch this.
It really is good to be back in Wisconsin. It is so good to be back in Michigan. Listen, let me tell you, I am clear. The path to the White House runs right through this state. And listen, I am clear. The path to the White House runs right through this state. I took on perpetrators of all kinds. I took on perpetrators of all kinds and had a summer job at McDonald's. I had a summer job at McDonald's. So hear me when I say, so hear me, Detroit, when I say, I know Donald Trump's type. I know Donald Trump's type. And are we ready to fight for it? And are we ready to fight for it? And when we fight, we win.
Kamala's plagiarizing herself and Trump. I thought fight, fight, fight was his line.
It's just getting pathetic at this point, right? I mean, there's only so much that they can do to protect her without her exposing herself. And it's getting so bad that she happened to slip up today and do the unthinkable. Let's take a look at that clip.
It is my promise to everyone here, when I am president, we will continue our fight for working families of America. Including to raise the minimum wage and eliminate taxes on tips for service and hospitality workers.
So this is the first time I've said this, and for those hotel workers and people that get tips, you're going to be very happy, because when I get to office, we are going to not charge taxes on tips, people making tips. We're not going to do it, and we're going to do that right away, first thing in office, because it's been a point of contention for years and years and years, and you do a great job of service, you take care of people, and I think it's going to be something that really is deserved.
Okay, so it's obvious what's going on at this point, right? She's making a huge mistake, and social media is catching on to this. They are finding her plagiarizing Trump's campaign and his rhetoric. She is now copying his policy, no tax on tips. And I just think she's getting a little desperate. I mean, there must be some problem with her polling that they have access to that would cause her to switch up what she's been saying and to say something like that. So clearly they are recognizing that the lack of policies on her end is not good. It's not helping her, and it's hurting her. And I believe this idea still holds true today in 2024. People can smell your bullshit a mile away. And this is exactly what's occurring at her rallies, where people are walking out halfway during her speech, and her campaign is manipulating the appearance of her rallies. Let's take a look at that. Now, shout out to Tenant Media. You can follow him on the X platform at Tenant Media. And he's actually going to her rallies right now and filming everything to debunk this whole narrative that her rallies are larger than President Trump's and that there is all this enthusiasm, which really there isn't. And as you guys can see, people are walking out. Look at this. People are walking out during her speech. So it's not like she talks for 3 hours, you know. As you can see, they're holding the sign. Some people are reporting that there are people getting paid to do this, to show up to her rallies. And that's why you see the amount of people leaving, because obviously after you've been paid to go somewhere, you're probably not really interested to stay that for a very long time, all the way to the end. So yeah, look at this. Now he's outside. As you guys can see, people are leaving. She's still speaking. I mean, that's a lot of people. This isn't like, you know, maybe you see 5 people here or there at most, but this looks like the show is over, you know? So I find it to be embarrassing. All right, so let's also check out this clip.
Taylor Hanson with Tenet Media. I'm out here at the Kamala Harris rally in Las Vegas, Nevada, and I just want to show you guys something very interesting. There's 7 to 8 sections actually cordoned off completely. As you see behind me, they have the seats all covered in black tarps, and they actually have a hanger that is completely blocking these sections off from people actually going in, sitting in this section. So I'm going to show you guys what this looks like.
The strongest bipartisan border security bill we have ever had.
Do a little walkthrough here. Obviously, this is all completely cordoned off.
Wow.
They're hiding it behind a curtain. You're not allowed to walk up here, but you know how it is. So just so you guys see the amount of seats here, there's well over 1,000 seats that have been basically completely blacked out. Once they realized the attendance wasn't going to be this much, they started drawing the curtain farther this way and then farther this way as well. Yeah, as you see, obviously there is nobody back here.
Yeah, so you guys seen that. Just 2 points for you guys. Number one, I find it funny that she says the same thing that President Trump said at the same location. This rally today that I showed you is in Las Vegas, Nevada. She says exactly the same thing that Trump did when he was in Las Vegas, Nevada. I mean, it's just pathetic at this point. It shows that her campaign, clearly, they're seeing numbers that we don't have access to, and it's causing them to switch up her messaging. That's point number one. Point number two, her social media team is definitely on top of their game, because what they're doing is taking whatever Donald Trump says and turning it into a meme or a joke. And for people who have Trump derangement syndrome, that works. It gets them fired up, but it's not actually based in truth or reality. And so this is why it's very important for people to not get caught up in what her campaign is saying, because it's all based on lies, but to actually do their research. So shout out to Tenet Media for doing that. And so now this brings me to part of the video that is really based on truth when it comes to President Trump and Kamala Harris. And it's this new ad that I believe is probably the best ad that Trump could put out up to this point, exposing who Kamala Harris truly is and highlighting what he's going to bring to my life, to your life, and the rest of the country. Let's play that ad.
President Obama will go down as perhaps the worst president in the history of the United States! Exclamation point at real Donald Trump. Well, at real Donald Trump, at least I will go down as a president.
And I know people have talked to you about whether or not you want to run. Would you ever?
Never got so bad, I would never want to rule it out totally.
A new world order. These allegations are false. Weapons of mass destruction. The USA Patriot Act. The blueprint for large corporations.
We once were, we are no longer a Christian nation.
Donald Trump confirmed that he is considering a run in 2016.
Do it.
I am officially running for President of the United States.
He will never be President of the United States.
Donald Trump will never be elected
President of the United States.
People are watching these results come in.
We are going to make this decision now. Donald Trump will be the 45th President of the United States.
Does it
never seemed to you that President Trump has done more than any president in modern history?
And in the 10 years I've been involved in politics, I've never seen an administration hit the ground running like this.
I could spend the rest of the hour laying out the accomplishments under the Trump presidency, despite everything thrown at him.
The market just had its 12th straight record close.
Taking action to save as many kids as they can.
We were energy independent under the Trump administration.
More Americans reported being employed than ever.
Helping those who have served our country in the military to get access to mental health care.
The Great American Outdoors Act is the largest single piece of legislation to support our national parks and public land.
Created more than 7 million good-paying jobs.
Websites can be held liable in court for having sex trafficking content.
The Abraham Accords, which for any other president would have been multiple peace prizes.
America did not enter into a foreign war.
The employment rate in the U.S. fell to 3.5%.
The First Step Act eases federal sentencing for nonviolent offenders.
Increased funding for historically black colleges and universities.
Allows terminally ill patients easier access to experimental drugs.
Kept the inflation rate low.
Honored with the Bipartisan Justice Award.
Had a massive MS-13 gang problem.
3.9% is the unemployment rate.
Requiring airports to provide lactation rooms for breastfeeding mothers.
Middle-class family income increased nearly $6,000.
A dramatic escalation in his crackdown on illegal immigration.
An advocate for educational choice.
Tariffs on Mexico and Canada.
An act preventing animal cruelty and torture.
Taking out Baghdadi, the head of ISIS, Soleimani, the Iranian general.
Save Our Seas Act commitment to environmental issues.
We're saying Merry Christmas again.
Community development in low-income urban and rural communities.
Help us to remember the importance of fighting off tyranny.
Pulling out of UNESCO, the World Health Organization, the Paris Climate Accords, reassessing NATO and the United Nations.
Stood up for Christianity and the Constitution more than any president in American modern history.
We are stopping the attacks on Judeo-Christian values. Do you miss me yet?
All right. So, yeah, that is a phenomenal ad. And I expect it to truly go viral and really get people to see what the truth really is, which brings me to my first point as I start to wrap up this video. We have to understand that the media and these politicians do not want you to know the truth about Donald J. Trump. They don't want you to know that he donated his salary. All 4 years, he donated his salary. Did not take a dollar as president of the United States. And we could go on and on about everything that he's done that was actually a positive thing. But as you can definitely relate, you could be doing everything right in your life. And as soon as you make a mistake, that's what people remember about you. And people who do that to you, they're not your true friends. We know this. But the media does not care. The media has one purpose right now, which is to make sure that Kamala Harris becomes the next president of the United States. And let's be clear about something. They have an uphill battle because she has zero policies or experience that she could show that would convince people that she's truly going to change America for the better, which reminds us to go back in time and show you what happened to the last person who was in that position. Let's play that clip.
I ask a simple question. She's been doing this for 30 years. Why the hell didn't you do it over the last 15, 20 years? You were very much involved. Excuse me, my turn. You were very much involved in every aspect of this country, very much. And you do have experience. I'd say the one thing you have over me is experience, but it's bad experience because what you've done has turned out badly. For 30 years, you've been in a position to help. And if you say that I use steel or I use something else, I make it impossible for me to do that. I wouldn't mind. The problem is you talk, but you don't get anything done, Hillary.
I mean, he's telling the truth, right? And it applies to Kamala Harris, too. She may have experience coming out of California and serving in the Senate, but it's bad experience. She hasn't done anything to truly improve the lives of everyday Americans. So let's hope that when the debate comes, he highlights that again. That's my mindset on this. What about you? What do you think about the fact that she's been plagiarizing and copying President Trump and even doing it in the same city? It's just pathetic. Do you believe that her campaign is now desperate, trying to switch up her message. What do you think about the amazing ad that President Trump dropped about how he can actually be a benefit to you and me, and what the real truth is about his policies and what he's done for this country, even though the media does not want you to know that? Let me know what your answers are and more in the comment section below. Thank you for checking out the video today. Stay grateful, stay focused, and stay true. Peace.